All right. Bomb. We bombed Iran. Bombed. We bombed Iran. Yep, we bombed Iran. But, yeah, welcome to This Week Unloaded for this week. If you don't know who I am, my name is Rich White, and yeah, I'm the host of this shit show. So far, nobody else has jumped in on the panel. Out there on the YouTube side, we have first one in was Patriot in the Dark, then Ron Two A Matters, and Gizzard Gary. So there's your rundown on who's watching on the YouTube or were watching on YouTube. If they're not still out there, I don't know if they're still out there. Well, oh, Mystic Guns is out there. Evening, Stacy. Hope you're feeling better. So that's who we got out there so far. Yeah. So yeah, the big news yesterday. I don't know what I was doing when it happened. I'm probably upstairs in bed for all I know. I hadn't had much sleep Friday, so I went to bed early yesterday. Woke up this morning and all Twitter was talking about was how we bombed Iran. So, yeah, apparently Trump faked one way and sent the bombers another. Sent decoys west towards, I guess would be Guam, somewhere over in that area. Meanwhile, apparently, from what I was reading and seeing people talking about, apparently it sent them eastwards towards Iran and hit them that way. B-2s using bunker busting bombs destroyed 3 different nuclear sites belonging to the Iranians. And the Iranians promptly, of course, because of course they did, said, we're going to rebuild our nuclear program. Well, you go right ahead and try. We got somebody else jumping in. Mr. Gizzard Gary's here. How are you tonight, Gary? You're muted, Gary. There you go.
So what's this I hear about bombing?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
How did that happen?
We bombed Iran worse than what Disney did with Snow White.
Dang, did they have it coming?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Remember the nuclear program that first Obama, then Biden funded?
Oh,
It
the
doesn't
one they
exist
did,
no more.
the one they didn't have.
Yeah, the one they didn't have.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't have it now for sure.
Well, yeah.
It's a shame.
Isn't it just? Couldn't have happened to nicer people. Or leadership, anyway.
Of course, they're claiming it never happened.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking on X, and they've got pictures of the mountains saying, nobody bombed us. Look, there's no damage. Like you can't fake that.
Plus the fact that those bombs are made to drill a hole in the ground and not really damage the surface. The place was over 100, I think it was 100, 200 meters below the surface. So when one of those bunker busters goes off that deep, you're really not going to be able to tell on the surface anyway, especially on a mountain which is solid bedrock.
I think more like 6 of them we dropped over there from what I understood.
Yeah. So yeah, you may not tell that there's any damage from the surface. That's the whole point. And the Air Force even put up a video today demonstrating how these bombs work and showing that the surface is not recognized as having been damaged when they detonate that deep. And of course, the cat's got to start.
And it took us half a day to get those over there. They didn't see them coming.
Oh yeah, it would take a while to fly over there.
Well, as I recall, the vehicles required to deliver them had to come out of Missouri, so had to be refueled several times on the way. But they did a little diversion tactic from the other direction, which helped
Yep,
a little bit.
you gotta love that. Fake one way and go the other.
Yeah.
They done run a played action on them. I think you're running the ball one way and pass it the other.
Pay no attention to this giant ass stealth bomber that's coming from the other. Two of them, actually.
Yeah. And people are asking, did they use Moab? No, they didn't use Moab, you idiot, or else the surface would have been flattened. It's like, I don't think people understand what Moab is. But I don't know how many people I've seen on YouTube on videos I was watching today or on X asking if they used Moab. No, they did not. It's Moab stands for Multiple Ordnance Air Blast Bomb. Okay.
Or mother of all bombs, depending on.
Yeah, that's the common parlance, but it's not actually what it stands for. That's what the slang for it's become. Basically, what that does, you throw that out of a back of a C-130 because basically that's how they used to do it. I don't know if they got a bomb because they wouldn't fit in the bomb bay of a B-52 because it's huge. You had to throw them out the back of a transport plane. It gets to about 5 or 6 feet above the ground, and then it just blows up and creates a big giant crater in the ground.
So I hear AOC wants Trump to be brought up on charges immediately.
Yeah. So does it's the usual suspects. Maxine Waters was running her mouth, and a bunch of other people. Yep, saying that this was unconstitutional. Maxine Waters. That's great. Maxine Waters actually saying something's unconstitutional. How many things has she done that have been unconstitutional? I don't know if this show's long enough if we got time to count all that.
First, you have to know the Constitution before you can start spouting words like unconstitutional.
Yeah, there's a thing, the Military Powers Act, which gives the president the authority to do these kind of attacks. And then has to let Congress know 48 hours after doing so. And then it's up to Congress or not whether they want to declare war from there. But
Which comes in handy because Barack Obama used it several times.
Yeah, remember? There was a country in North Africa. Let's see, I think it was called Libya. Does that ring a bell with anybody? Am I remembering this correctly?
I remember Libya.
Good Lord. And the same people that are out there screaming that what Trump did was illegal were the ones defending Obama attacking Libya. Yeah, we've been joined
but that's different.
Yeah, that's different. That was our guy. We've been joined by DM Foss. Hello, how are you tonight? You're muted if you're talking.
I'm muted, but fantastic.
The voice of the Pacific Northwest is with us.
Brontue out there is complaining, saying that my cat got his cat meowing now. Yes, that tends to happen. Cats hear cats, and they just all started.
So you should never let your cats listen to your chats. They get ideas. We get cats hearing other cats online. The next thing you know, there's going to be a takeover. They start communicating. I mean, we all know who's behind all these cat videos on TikTok. Come on.
The Iranians?
Well, that's part of it, yes. They're financing a good part of it. So,
So it's Hamas.
yes.
Okay.
Hamas.
And China, just from a food standpoint. But
Yeah. How ironic is it that a terrorist organization that's not allowed to eat pork is named after Hamas?
wonder how many of them are ham radio operators.
Would that be permitted since it sounds like a pork product?
I don't know.
Oh.
Do they get spam email?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Is spam email halal?
No, I would have to say no.
What if it's turkey spam?
I don't know if it matters what country it comes from.
Well, there is turkey spam. So, and I'm sure there's people in Turkey that spam.
Probably. But mostly they just make guns with pride and honor. But mostly 9mm weapons. So how much pride and honor can you have in that?
They make a lot of 12 gauges.
That's true.
So, crowds out there being awful quiet out there.
Crowd?
Crowd, yeah. 4 people anymore. It's not going to Democrats. 4 people is a crowd. I mean, you get 4 people showing up for a protest. You think there was a million people there to hear them talk. So. I'm just using their rules.
It's like it's a mass shooting. Look, there's more than 2.
Remember when a mass shooting had to be 6 or more? I remember when that was.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
And then it became 4, and then depending on who you talk to, 3. It's like change the numbers to meet your statistic. Yeah.
Oh, that's not what the left does at all. It's manipulate facts.
No,
No.
not them.
How dare you?
Yeah,
I don't know. Is Greta home yet?
I don't know. Does she even have a home at this
I
point?
worry about Greta.
I don't. No. She's over 18. She's on her own now. Even though she looks 12. Oh, man, she got to be careful going over to the Middle East.
I know.
She looks 12. She's going to have all them Muslims going after her. They might actually think she's too old. Well, if they're their prophet anyway. Yes, it's pick on the Muslim night here. I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. We have any in the audience?
I don't know. Probably not. They don't strike me as being Muslims. We already had Patron and Dark throwing at the very first post in the YouTube chat, throwing out a shot at the mullahs. So, and interestingly enough, I did reply to him, or tried to twice, and it deleted it both times. At least on my screen.
Did you put something inappropriate in your response?
All I said was they're against anything that's fun.
Oh.
That's all I said, and it deleted it twice.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure it ever happened, to be honest with you.
Happened once around 8 o'clock, and then once again around the time that Ron 2A Matters posted.
See, if you'd have been up around 1 o'clock this morning, you would have seen the really cool stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything happens in the overnight.
Damn straight.
I was going on like 48 hours without sleep, so.
That's all right. I was up until around 8 o'clock this morning. I laid down and set an alarm for 1 so I wouldn't sleep too late. You know when I woke up? 5:45.
Oh, you didn't sleep that long.
It's like, oh, my sleep schedule couldn't be any more topsy-turvy right now, could it? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
man. I got a good afternoon's sleep anyway. How about that?
Yeah. I had to get a new desk
Why?
because the one I had fell over.
Why?
Don't know why. One of the reasons I didn't get much sleep.
Now, desks don't just fall over by themselves, Rich.
Oh, I went to bed. It was upright. Yesterday, no, was it Friday? Yesterday or Friday morning? Might have been Friday morning. My daughter comes knocking on my door. I might have been in bed for 3 hours. Dad, your desk fell over. I'm like, what? You need to come downstairs. I need to get this set back. Like, oh my god. Yeah, the one support on the bottom was bent, and the whole desk fell over.
What was your daughter doing on your desk?
I don't know. But so yeah, I had to get a new desk.
Well, your cats, one or the other. It's an awful lot of mass for a cat to bring a desk down, but I guess it's possible. Get enough of them, they all jump at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one of the dogs helped.
It was weird, man. A steel bar at the bottom of it was bent. I have no idea what happened.
Could it be the Muslims getting back at you?
Maybe. They broke in and trashed my desk. It was just a laptop desk, but still. It only had a monitor and a keyboard on it.
Death to America, one desk at a time.
Mm-hmm. Well, that would have been a preemptive strike, though.
I know.
That was before we bombed Iran.
We know this is coming, Richard. It's all your fault.
Yeah, it's all my fault. So, yeah, I got one of those small electric standing type desks. And as soon as I plugged it in, it blew a circuit. I can't win. So it's not plugged in right now, but it's set to the right height, so I don't care.
You might have evil spirits in your place.
I know, right?
Are you built on top of like a Native American burial ground or something like that?
If we are the whole goddamn city is. We're just about right downtown.
They're back.
It's just weird.
I've seen those movies. That's how this starts. Soon the walls will be covered with blood, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Get out.
then the whole house will just be sucked into a vortex at the end. Yeah. Actually,
if you've seen Betty running around with a hockey mask, you might want to move.
Be like Stan Helsing. Have you even seen Stan Helsing?
No.
Oh man, you got to see that. It's funny as hell. It's a parody movie of a guy who's a descendant of Van Helsing, and all of a sudden, all these horror movie characters start showing up in his neighborhood trying to kill him and stuff. It's really funny. And he keeps denying that he is who he is and whatnot. So, yeah, see the movie. It's funny. It's a funny movie. Even Amy thought it was funny, so you know it's funny. She has no sense of humor.
She's married to you, ain't she?
Mm-hmm. So you know she has no sense of humor.
I've met Amy. She's okay.
Hmm.
I wouldn't cross her. Let's put it that way.
So, hey, we got 5
Is
people watching
is
on.
anybody actually watching this?
Says there's 5 watching on YouTube and 1 on Rumble. We always get the one mystery person on Rumble who never responds and never says anything.
It's not me.
It's not me.
I am watching on YouTube. Kind of have to comment. So
Yeah. And I have no idea if anybody's watching on X or not because this thing doesn't track it. I think I just heard a gunshot.
it wasn't me.
No, but it sounded like something outside.
Maybe it's false.
No, it was definitely here outside somewhere. There were people arguing earlier, so you never know.
Knowing Foss, he's a recoil junkie. It may be something he shot like 3 or 4 minutes ago, and it's just now echoing back. I don't
I don't know.
I keep my business to myself.
know. Taking care of business.
Yeah, there's 9 people watching on X, it says. Whoa.
That's where all the cool people are.
Mm-hmm.
That and the OnlyFans spam chicks.
Uh-huh.
That's right, Diesel Babe. I'm talking to you.
There's nobody said anything on X, but yeah, it says there's 9 people watching. Wow. Hello on X. Whether they're still watching or not, I don't know because it only says that 9 people viewed it. It doesn't say if they're still watching or not. Because it just says views. It says live and how many views you got. It doesn't say if you got actual viewers or just people that popped in and then left. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing.
I know nothing. I know nothing, Colonel Hogan.
How weird you have a POW camp in Germany and you have a Air Force colonel that's
Well, it was a Luftwaffe
in
camp.
charge of the thing. Yeah, come on, that's the best you can do. It's a shot down pilot.
Hey, it was a Luftwaffe camp, so the Luftwaffe was in charge, which is funny because General Burkhalter was Wehrmacht, which means he would not have been in charge of Klink. He would have had to have been a Wehrmacht general rather. And
Well, he
Major
started out as a colonel and then ended up a general.
Yeah. And then Hochstetter, who was Gestapo, wouldn't have had anything to do with it because Gestapo had nothing to do with the military. Gestapo was civilian. It would have been the the SD that would have been overseeing military, which was a branch of the SS.
They had a coffee pot radio, so you,
Mhm.
you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Well, it's everything. I mean, you watch all these old movies and too. I mean, not just Hogan's Heroes, but like the Clint Eastwood Richard Burton movie where Eagles Dare. The guy in the SS uniform was said to be Gestapo. No, he would have been SD, not
Where
Gestapo.
where Eagles Dare the Eiger sanction?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same movie.
Yeah, kind of the same movie. One civilian, one military. Same basic plot.
Meow.
That cat is going to die. Shut up, stupid. Sneezer, shut up. If I go to get up, he's going to run. All I did was put my feet down. Literally. I had my legs up, reclining, all comfortable, and that
You
dumbass had.
disturbed the force.
Mm-hmm. As soon as he felt my feet hit the floor, he ran. Which is exactly what I said he was going to do.
You'd have thought you'd have learned when the cats broke your desk last night, but no, you're still
Mm-hmm.
tempting them.
Well, this wasn't last night. This was Friday. Because I had to order the new one Friday, and I ordered a new one Friday evening, and it arrived today. So, put it together real quick.
And
Didn't
that
take
gives
long.
them all day to watch you put it together and figure out how easy it is to break it. So,
Oh no, this is not going to be that easy to break. This thing is solid.
they're already in planning stages right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't the adult. The adult cats couldn't care less. It was the little shits that kept getting in the way. Kept wanting to run off with screws and said, "Quit! Leave that alone." My daughter and I are putting this together, and they keep knotting the screws around. Shiny little things. Of course, it's going to get the kitten's attention.
Well, if they eat one, you'll know when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
That'll get their attention.
There were exactly enough screws to put this thing together. You know, a lot of times you'll have spares.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, it was exactly enough to put this together. If you lose one, you're SOL. Whoa, Ron 2A Matter says there's 16 watching on X now.
Yeah. About 16 views, anyway.
Yeah. Hello, X people. Yeah, you can comment on X, but you can't see it on Rumble Studio because they haven't fixed that to where that works. X is not integrated with the Rumble Studio.
Did you install the API?
I don't think there is one.
There was one. Because I was able to get X to come through on Rumble Studio, but there was an API I had to install first.
I thought you weren't using Rumble Studio. Oh,
I didn't use Rumble Studio, but I did stream through Rumble from StreamYard, and in order to get the comments to come back into StreamYard, I had to install an API.
Yeah,
I don't know if that does the same thing in Rumble Studio or not. It may not.
Yeah, that might just be a StreamYard thing. But Vanessa Kitty's out there.
Yes.
Evening to you.
Speaking of cats.
Yeah. See, she heard the cats meow, and there she is.
Well, they called their leader.
Uh-huh. They summoned her. That's what he was doing. He was yelling Vanessa in kitty talk.
I think in kitty it's pronounced meow.
Mm-hmm.
Much everything is.
Yeah, pretty much everything. It's the way they say it.
Yes,
exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like Japanese where ame is rain and ame is candy.
Mm-hmm.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, different ways of saying the same thing. And depending on how you do it, that depends on what you're saying. Yeah, she said her ears perked up, so yeah. She heard the summons. So, what else is going on?
You hear the meows, Vanessa.
Now they're going to bring a sacrifice.
Oh God, a dead mouse. Meow to the third power.
Cubic meows. Oh no.
Yeah, cubic meows.
That's in 3
Meow
dimensions.
cubed.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. It could be really weird. It could be to the 4th dimension. As long as it's not to the 5th dimension, then we end up with Mr. Mix-a-Pixel
Then
here,
you'd
and
have
everything goes crazy.
when you'd have in the moon if when the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars and all that stuff, and then it gets freaky.
Well, no, when the 5th dimension is when you get all those little imps running around, like in Superman comics.
Then
Doing all kinds of crazy
peace
shit.
will guide the planet.
And then you gotta make them say their names backwards to get them to go home.
And love will steer the stars. That song has significance with me, seeing as I am an Aquarius and all that stuff. So this indeed is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Uh-huh. Up to 19 on X. Wow. Usually I don't have anybody watching on X. But, yeah. So, woohoo! We're catching on X, apparently.
Must be a slow night on X.
Maybe. Or maybe we're the only thing live.
Oh, a little bit of Zager and Evans going on out there in the chat. Wow.
Now, Vanessa was asking, do you want the skinning knife, boning knife, or cleaver?
Cleaver. Always a cleaver.
Leave it to Cleaver.
Leave it to
Yeah,
Cleaver.
I was gonna ask, is it June or Ward?
Okay, what was June Cleaver's maiden name?
Damned if I know.
Come on, trivia buffs.
It was Cleaver. They were cousins.
No. It's Bronson.
Bouvier?
Bronson.
No, Bouvier was Marge.
Yes, I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then came Bronson.
Trump's remarks last night were short and sweet.
Yeah, like 5 minutes worth at the most.
Yeah.
I was watching it while I was waiting for Hillbillies Chat to come on. I was on the panel, but I had it muted so I could watch it, and I'm thinking, is this going to get over with before the stream starts? And oh yeah, it was over way before the stream started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was watching a replay. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I didn't see it. Did he just come out and say, Iran can suck it?
Essentially. And basically put out a post today saying that if Iran doesn't get the program, they're going to get more of the same.
We have more where that came from.
Mm-hmm. Like, we got 6 more targets we could hit. Like, all right.
So, do you think you could keep screwing with us? I told you so.
Ayatollah Asahola.
Bring back
And
the Shaw.
I wonder if Whoopi Goldberg still thinks that living in Iran's better than being black in the United States.
She should try living overseas.
Mm-hmm.
That'd work out great.
Yeah. It seems to be working for Rosie O'Donnell and Ellen DeGeneres, who actually both kept their promises and left.
That defense dad's out there.
Is he? Yeah, yeah, he is. Hello. He says too soon about which.
I don't know.
So for the moment, no, but
Mm-mm.
we need more information.
He says, evening, sons of bitches.
He should come in here. He has cat issues.
Mm-hmm.
He too cohabits with a cat.
Mm-hmm. Gotta keep an eye on one of these cats that's a Persian.
Well, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie Sanchez.
Yeah, Bernie. Now, Bernie is legal, right? He's not an illegal. We don't have to worry about ICE coming after him, right?
I presume so. I never bothered to ask him, but
Don't ask, don't tell.
Uh-huh. Well, apparently he's having the issue with YouTube erasing his
based on
comment.
his name, I mean, seriously, come on, man.
Defense Dad saying that YouTube's erasing his comments too, apparently. I guess he made a joke about Iran going boom. And it got
Boom
deleted.
goes the dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
I'll believe him since they erased my "they're against anything that's fun" comment. That's all I said in response to Patriot earlier, and they deleted it twice.
Bernie says, La Migra, La Migra. I love it.
Yes, but Whoopi Goldberg actually had the nerve to say, in front of a woman of Iranian descent, no less, that it's harder to be black in the United States than to be a woman in Iran. It's like, what? I guess Whoopi's never seen the numerous gallows that have nothing but women hanging from them that people
why don't you
post
tell her
from
what
Iran.
it's like being a black woman in Iran? Go over there and live for a while. I'm all right.
Mm-hmm.
The documentary, Not Without My Baby.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Wow.
Well, we didn't know you were running. Unless you actually are Bernie Sanders, rather. Let's say Barry Sanders, one person.
Different person entirely.
Good runner, though.
Bernie Sanders was not near as fast as Barry Sanders.
Did I just have a J.D. Vance Jose moment where he called the senator Jose Padilla? You know, the freaking New York Yankee. Or former New York Yankee, I should say. It was an honest mistake. When I saw Senator Padilla, I was like, when did Jose get elected to Senate? That's what I thought when I first saw his name. I was like, you know, to see something about Senator Padilla being arrested, like, when did Jose become senator? How would I, honest mistake. Defense Dad says, remember the 80s when Whoopi was just a funny foul-mouthed comedian? Yep. She was actually one of the few funny women comedians.
Grammy winner, matter of fact.
Mm-hmm. You know, her whole routine didn't center around period jokes like most women comedians. She was just like watching one of the guys. Didn't hurt that she looks like one. What did Ted Danson ever see in her? She must have been really good in bed. That's all I can say.
That's a visual I don't need.
Ted Danson movie.
Oh, scarred for life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bernie brings up Sandra Bernhard too. Yeah, that's another one. Apparently, she was supposed to have been a real freak in life and between the sheets.
Is she a super freak?
Possibly.
Super freaky?
She's super freaky, yeah.
Possibly.
She's a super freak, super freak, super freak.
And in other news,
Is
Somebody
there other
emailed-
news?
I don't know. Is there?
I come here for my news.
Let's see. We got Iran being burned, or bombed, L.A. burning, ICE riots still going on. Now you got people on the left apparently can't make up their minds whether they're carrying Mexican flag, Palestinian flag, or Iranian flag.
They just need to carry a complete set of flags with them so they can get the appropriate flag out at a given time.
Just carry a bunch of the little ones. Remember the little
Mhm.
desk stand flags? And just carry a bunch of them, then they can carry all of them at once. Yeah, what was it? 3 weeks ago it was the Mexican flag or the Palestinian flag. 2 weeks ago it was Mexican flag. Now it's Iranian flag.
Oh, guns and barbecues out there.
Mm-hmm.
There were 3 people involved with USID that were, I can't remember if they were just indicted or convicted. I think at least one pled guilty, and it was a $550 million bribery.
Yeah.
I think the contract was for 550, but there was bribery that happened, and at least one person pled guilty, and 2 other people were convicted.
Yeah. Well, speaking of fraud and all that kind of stuff, do you see the one out of Ohio where the cashier turned in somebody for having an illegal for having like $42,000 plus on their EBT card?
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah, it was like 13,000 in food stamps and 29,000 plus in cash. Like, what the fuck? How the hell does that happen? Good God Almighty!
Great googly moogly.
It's like no wonder the illegals are throwing a fit. God damn! Under Biden, they were getting 42 grand a month. Mm-hmm. Defense dad says he hears pussy. I guess it's better than smelling it.
Wow. Dude.
Well, if it smells, there's something wrong.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Hmm.
Something's fishy.
Yep. Oh, man. Water heater still works.
I don't hope so.
The way things have been going around here. Oh, there goes that stupid asshole again. I only popped the circuit 3 times today until I unplugged the desk, and then it stopped. But I wonder what the common denominator here is.
Sure, blame the cat.
Hmm?
I said, sure, blame the cats.
Mm.
My wife has one of those standing desks. It weighs a ton.
Well, this one doesn't weigh that much. It's just a small little thing.
Is it one that goes on top of like a counter or a desk, or is it the whole desk?
It's not much bigger than an end table size. It's a small one. I think it's like 32 inches across, if I remember right. Something like that. Measurement. It's not very big. It's big enough to hold my monitor, keyboard, and mouse, basically. And a couple other things.
We had some at work. The entire desk would lift up.
Yeah.
That's what
Monitors and all, man.
Oh, yeah,
that's
they
what
got
my wife
massive.
has, and I put it together for her,
Mm.
and I've had to move it once. That thing is heavy.
Yeah, the big one, the big massive ones, are those sons of bitches weigh a ton. This thing's not that much. One person can move it.
But it is a stable platform though,
Hmm.
because it's so heavy. Her work paid for it.
Yeah, this one's got 2 memory positions on it. DefenseStat said he has one that has 2 memory positions. Yeah, this one does 2 when it works. But yeah, I did something and got some kind of error message on it when I was playing around with it earlier. And after that, every time I plug it in, it pops a fuse or a circuit. So yeah, it's unplugged right now until I figure out what the problem is. I haven't
Probably
looked in the
too
manual to
much
find
stuff
out.
on it.
I think I held the one key in too much and it screwed something up with it. You know, you get a new toy, you got to play with it, and I think
Well,
I
all
broke
you
it.
have to do is just a little bit of tape, and you can tape that circuit open so it won't
Mm-hmm.
close anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That'll fix it.
Or just get rid of the switch and just wire the two. You know, put the 2 wires together, and who needs a circuit in between them at all?
Just get you a long extension cord and run it outside and plug it in at your next door neighbor's house. Surely they
Mm-hmm.
have an external outlet there somewhere. It'll take them a while to find it.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do, claim you didn't have nothing to do with it and somebody's screwing with you.
The fence dad said his cat wouldn't get out of the sink earlier to wash his hands. He figured he'd turn the water on, the cat wouldn't run. Oh, cat sat there, played.
You'd think the spray nozzle would make a convincer out of you, but
We have one cat that refuses to drink from any of the water bowls. He will get up in the sink and he will turn the water on himself.
He's bougie.
sits there and he bats the knob until it turns. It was funny when he figured out which one the hot water was, because kitchen sink is right above the hot water heater. So as soon as you turn it on, that water's hot coming out of there. It's not cold. Like you don't gotta wait for the water to heat up in the kitchen. He hit the hot water knob the one time and he about freaked out. Because after like 2 seconds, that water was hot. Yeah, he says the one that he rescued from the storm drain that likes to play in water. Well, there's why. He's used to being in a storm drain.
Weirdy cat.
Was he hanging out with some turtles?
We had one cat years ago when the kids were little. He would go outside and he would jump in the little kiddie pool with them. You look outside and there's the cat in the swimming pool. Just swimming around. Having a good old time. Wow, it got quiet in here. His dad said he came home before and he was playing in the damn toilet. Now he has to close the lid. And just wait till he figures out how to open it. Cats are good for figuring out how to do stuff.
They got all day.
Mm-hmm. And once they figure out how to do something, they will just keep doing it and doing it and doing it until they get bored. If they get bored. I'm just glad the one cat got bored with ejecting discs out of the PlayStation 4. That was getting annoying. Look over, there's a cat just pushing the eject button, waiting for the disc to come out. And he figured out that if he pushes on it, it would go back in. So he would push the disc back in, eject it back out, push it back in. It's like, Jesus Christ, you stupid little bastard. Waiting for him to break a disc or something. And those games ain't cheap.
Didn't cost the cat anything.
No, it didn't cost him anything. What the hell does he care? He just found out he could do something. It was funny, though, because Amy would be watching something, and he'd go over and turn the PlayStation 4 on, I think just to piss her off. The way that the PlayStation 4 is hooked up, if you turn it on, it automatically comes on the TV. So if you're watching something and the PlayStation 4 comes on, you're no longer watching what you were watching. You're now looking at the PlayStation 4 loading screen. And I'm going to kill him. Shut up, sneezer.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got the fence that said he splashes his paws in the water dish before he drinks. Yeah, you say pretty sure he had to do that in the drain to clean gunk out of the water before drinking it. Yeah, probably like a stick or something, knock it out of the way. Well, our one cat will wash her paws in the one water bowl and then drink from the other. It's like, what are you doing, cat? My wife came up with the conclusion, yeah, she's washing her hands. Like, okay. And it's always when she comes up the stairs from the basement. The litter box is in the basement. So Amy figures that she goes downstairs, goes to the bathroom, comes upstairs, and washes her hands in the water bowl. Like, maybe you should put a water bowl in the basement then. So she can
Maybe.
wash her hands down there and not get the water all nasty where the other cats don't want to drink it. Two of the cats have figured out that the dog has her own water bowl, so they will now drink from her bowl. And the dog lets them. There's only the only two cats that the dog lets near her food and water bowl, and the other cats go near. She's down here. She freaks out and chases them away. Yeah, Defense Dad said he was only about 4 months when we caught him. Pretty sure someone dumped him. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all. The one that I keep yelling at for meowing his head off, Sneezer, he was we think he was a dumped kitty. Found him outside. He was only about 2, somewhere between 2 and 4 months. He was a tiny little thing. Amy found him outside here, sneezing his little head off, which is how he got his name. And he is a motor mouth. He will just walk around meowing his damn full head off. Loudmouth would have been a better name. He's outgrown the sneezing part, but he still gets wheezy when it's cold out and stuff. Had him probably about a little over a year now. Yeah, he was just a little guy too. It was funny at first when we first got him. You would pet him, and he had to pet you back. He would start taking his paw and rubbing it on your face, like he was petting you back. Like, okay. I guess the view count on X is done going up.
I still show 7 on YouTube, though.
Yeah. Still only the one on X. Whoever you are.
It's not me anymore.
Ooh, it shows 8 on YouTube
Yep.
now.
Yep.
No idea how accurate that counter is. Probably about as accurate as looking over at the participants list, which shows 2 people, me and Defense Dad. Now we know there's more people out there watching.
I'll say I have the chat open, so.
Yeah. Damn.
Is anything going on? Are we bombing anybody tonight? That's fine.
I don't know. Are we? What the hell? How the hell did I get behind on X?
I don't know.
Yeah. Somehow I'm behind on my own chat on X. All right.
Ooh,
Come back to being live. Yeah.
Justin Grimm's out there.
Hello. Bacons are, if that is what you truly are. He said he's the ghost in the machine. So you're the one that bent my desk, is what you're saying. It's all Justin's fault. He just admitted to it. Oh wait, that would be Ghost in the House, not the Ghost in the Machine, though. Right? Ghost in the Machine's
That's
a good
true.
anime. If you haven't seen that, that's pretty good.
Mm-mm.
It's one of those situations where they probably would have made it a live action movie back in the day, but because budget constraints and everything, it got made into a cartoon. There's a lot of things over in Japan that are that way. Or,
Let's see. In Major League Baseball today, the Pirates over the Rangers 8-3.
whoa, they actually won a game.
Yes.
Now have the Rockies won a game?
Let's see.
What's their record
Uh,
at now?
Royals fall to the Padres 3-2. How about the Mariners 14-6 over the Cubs
Oof,
in Wrigley
that's a
today.
football score right
Ouch.
there, boy.
Oh, let's see. Rockies beat the Diamondbacks today 4-2. Wow.
Whoa.
It's Ghost in the Shell, not Ghost in the Machine.
Yeah, that's true. There's another movie, Ghost in the Machine, too.
Sure.
I'm
Sure
getting my
there is.
wires crossed. No, there is. I think it's a horror movie, if I remember right. I'm getting my wires crossed.
So the Mariners are 5 games out right now in the AL West, trailing the Astros.
Yes,
Uh,
I was thinking of Ghost in the Shell, which did eventually get made into a live action movie, but it wasn't any good. At least I didn't think it was.
The
It
Rockies
was
are actually
terrible.
500 in
Horrible.
their last 10 games.
They ruined the story.
Mm-hmm.
Best record in baseball right now, the Detroit Tigers.
Whoa.
19 games over 500.
You know the worst part about this cat? He hasn't done this all fucking day. He waits till now. It's like they know. Well, we're down to 6 on YouTube. It just I don't know how accurate this counter is because it just keeps changing constantly.
Who knows?
Who knows? It's it's like how many licks it takes to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop. The world may never know.
As many as you want.
But it's definitely not 3 because Mr. Rao cheats.
How dare you?
The crunch was a dead giveaway. Yeah, defense desk said, yeah, cats do that. Ignore you all day, but the second you sit down at the computer, they won't leave you alone. Yep. I'm
Because they
surprised.
can't log on by themselves. They need you to help.
Mm-hmm. Well, they know how to turn mine off or hit the reset button, so they know the power button turns it off, but they can't figure out how to turn it back on, apparently, I guess. Yeah, what's fun is when you're sitting here and your computer reboots and you look over and there's a cat that just pushed the reset button and standing there with its paws on the top of your tower just staring at you. Like, what? Stupid bastard.
Did I do that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, now he's got one of the other ones meowing. Barbecue didn't stay out there long, did he?
Mm-mm.
And we haven't heard from the lurker Moo yet either.
Oh, I have. He's out there.
No, I'm sure he is. He's
Oops.
always lurking
I
somewhere.
gave away his secret. Oh, no.
Oh, no. He's always lurking, just like a stealth bomber over Iran.
He's both there and not there at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's like Schrodinger's cat.
He says, "Go Tigers." Well, we made it an hour so far.
Do you get something special for that?
Yeah.
Really? Cool.
I don't know. I don't know. I want a cookie. I ain't got no cookies. Cheeseburgers in the fridge, but that's not a cookie.
Cats
Good
like
enough.
cheeseburgers.
Hmm?
Cats like cheeseburgers.
Mm-hmm.
You can has cheeseburger.
I read it on the interwebs. It has to be true.
Mm-hmm. Our cats like broccoli. At least two of them do.
You got weird cats.
Yeah, cats are weird.
What do you do to your cats?
Okay. We're all sitting down at the table eating, dinner out on the kitchen counter. What nobody's had yet. There was a steak sitting there on the plate, and there was a bowl of broccoli, or broccoli in the pot or something. Anyway, two of the cats, instead of going after the meat, being carnivores, went after the broccoli that was in the bowl and were eating it. It's like, okay.
So did you fix them a separate plate?
No.
Whoa. It's not very nice.
Mm-hmm. What's funny is my daughter's cat will sit in the empty chair at the table and just stare at you like, "Where's mine?" It's like, "No, Timmy, you can't have any." So you finally got the fence dad's knives mailed to him.
Finally. What a mess.
You're as bad as Snob losing stuff on your desk.
Well, that's the funny thing. It wasn't really lost. After it finally occurred to me what was going on, I looked and it's like I had his two knives sitting right there, and for some reason I
It
thought
just
one
wasn't
was
clicking.
going to one person, one was going. I still had Guns of Barbecue's name on the one. That's what confused me. And then, of course, Thursday was Juneteenth, and you couldn't mail anything. Then I couldn't find a box because they
Wasn't
wouldn't fit.
Juneteenth originally June 17th, though?
I don't know.
The defense dad said his go nuts for turkey and chicken. He has to lock him in the bedroom if he's deboning a chicken.
Wow. Try fixing tuna salad.
My wife made the mistake of getting the dog salmon flavored dog food one time. All the cats were going nuts trying to get to her food bowl. Like, we want that.
If I fix tuna salad, I have to take the empty can from the tuna and wash it out so I don't have any smell left in it before I throw it in the trash. Or
Mm-hmm.
sure enough, the cat will dig it out of the trash.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got to be damn quick about it, or he'll be up on the counter wanting to know what's in the bowl. And once he
Mm-hmm.
figures it out, then he wants it. For some reason, the fact that it has mayo and relish on it doesn't seem to bother him too much. So I'll eat it. I don't care.
It's tuna.
I'll give him a little piece every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
They say you shouldn't give cats tuna, but a bite isn't going to hurt anything.
Don't give cats tuna. They make tuna stuff for cats.
Yes, I know. But they say that canned tuna that's made for humans is bad for cats. So I'm like, bullshit. Ain't damn thing.
Yeah, okay. First, that's honestly the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah,
So.
tell the cats that. This isn't for you. It's bad for you.
They make how much different is canned tuna from from the tuna they put in cat food? I mean, let's be honest. You got canned cat food that's tuna, but how much difference is there? It's tuna. Tuna's tuna.
Well, maybe the stuff they give to cats actually still has a dolphin in it. So.
Yeah, it's actually dolphin. It's not tuna.
Yeah, tuna don't taste the same since they took the dolphin out of it, I tell
Hmm.
you.
Yeah, it used to be made with a porpoise.
I know.
You ever seen videos of dolphins just attacking porpoise for no reason?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, there was a couple years ago. There were a slew of dolphin on porpoise attacks off of the coast of England. I think it was. People would be on boats and stuff, just like sightseeing and stuff, and they would be videoing on their phones and whatnot from these tour boats, and they just would catch these dolphins just beating the holy hell out of these porpoise. They were attacking them and knocking them up into the air and stuff. It's crazy. Nobody knows why.
Well, when they first started seeing it happen, scientists, biologists, um, didn't know what was going on, so they thought maybe it had to do with the Navy, something Navy equipment is damaging these um, little dolphins, and then finally somebody saw them getting knocked around by the porpoises.
So the dolphins were retaliating. Defense Dad says, to be fair, cats will pretty much eat anything. One puked and the other clean. Yeah, dogs do that too. Shadow gets yelled at by Amy all the time for doing that. He's like, don't eat that hairball. Our one cat's getting old. Been she coughs up hairballs a lot. She may have to get put down soon. Don't know yet. We've had her a while. Something like 13, 14 years old. I remember when she was just a kitten. Just a little kitten. Uh-oh, I'm being spied by two shaggy Persian type cats. Are you two spies for the Iranian government? Tell the truth. You're Persian, or at least part Persian. Or you look it anyway. They're not going to fess up. I don't think either one of them would have been the one that broke my computer desk anyway. They're both extremely mild mannered. But then that could be just be to lure you in and trick you. One hardly comes downstairs. Usually she stays upstairs. Our son's cat. She'll be going with him if he ever moves out. At this rate, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Hello? Anybody here?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. Let's see. We talked about Iran. Talked about illegals making $42,000 a month, I'm guessing, or whatever. A little bit about baseball, including a game that was a baseball game but had a score like a football game. What else is there to talk about?
I don't know.
There's lots.
You see SIG's putting out a 2011?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Think it's going to be better than their 1911? Weren't there problems with their 1911 or something?
With a nightmare?
Oh, somebody said there was something that SIG had problems with their 1911 or something. I don't know.
I've never heard anybody complain about a SIG nightmare. They are beautiful.
Okay. I forget who the hell it was that said something about it. It was one of the one of the bigger YouTubers was saying something about SIG's had a problem with the 1911 or something. Huh? I was wondering that too when he said it.
Yeah, it depends on who said it.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember who it was that said it. That's the problem. It's like, who the hell was it that said that? Oh. And the Fence Dad's wondering if cats taste like chicken. I don't know.
Never eaten one that I know of.
You'd have to ask Chinese.
If indeed I was ever served cat, it must have tasted like chicken. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't think it would have looked like chicken.
It wouldn't have been a perfect replacement, no.
No. Could be worse. Could have been rat. There was a Chinese place around here up in the Cumberland, Maryland area. They got shut down because they were caught serving rat. True story. It actually happened. Health department went in because somebody complained about something. I don't remember what it was. And they caught them in a surprise inspection serving up, preparing rat. That was fun to hear about. Thank God we never ate it, that one. That's all I got to say. That was the one buffet in the area that we didn't go to.
Sounds like a good one to avoid.
Mm-hmm. And it was the one that was always putting like coupons on people's cars and stuff. Amy was tempted the one day because they had a coupon on her, but put a coupon on her car, and she's like, "Yeah, I was tempted. I was going to order food from there before I left work and pick it up on my way home." And she's like, "But one of my coworkers said no, don't eat there," so I didn't do it. I was like, "Good idea. Listen to your coworkers."
Unless your coworkers like rat. If that's the case, you're screwed.
Yeah. One of her coworkers told her that she went there one time and it was dirty or something, so she told Amy not to order from there.
Yeah, nothing worse than dirty rat. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty rats done dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Highway to Rats. For those about the rat, no, that doesn't work, does it? For those about the rat, we salute you. Makes it sound like you're praising somebody who's a snitch. You ratted us out, you dirty mug. Yeah, exactly. You know what does taste like chicken?
Chicken.
Chicken.
Mm-hmm, exactly. I bet somebody who didn't know how to describe the taste of cat would say it tastes like chicken. Because it seems to be the thing. If you don't know how to describe what something tastes like, you say it tastes like chicken. It's like, what's that taste like? I don't know. Kind of like chicken. What's tofu taste like? It tastes like kind of like chicken.
No, it doesn't.
No, unless it's seasoned like chicken. I
It
don't
doesn't
know.
really taste like anything.
No,
It's a filler.
yeah, it's kind of bland. You got to add stuff to it to give it flavor.
Well, cats eat tofu.
I don't know. Don't buy tofu. Don't buy tofu. So I don't know. Never gave a cat tofu. Don't know if they'd eat it or not. The only time I've actually had tofu was the second or third grade. We were reading something and our teacher brought tofu in for everybody to try because it was in a story or something we were reading. Remember when teachers used to be able to do that kind of stuff?
Used to be able to do all kinds of stuff in this country you can't do now.
Mm-hmm. reading a story. Main character is eating tofu. Teacher brings in tofu so we can all try it. Do that today and you probably get in trouble.
Then the class pukes. It's like, ew.
Mm-hmm. I think she brought in beef flavored tofu, if I remember right. That was quite a few years ago.
It's funny they never bring in Brussels sprouts for everybody to try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got that at home. We didn't have to try it in school.
I like Brussels sprouts.
Fence Dad asks, what if chicken actually tastes like cat? Well, since most people would probably have eaten chicken first.
Let's think about it. If cat actually did taste good, the cat lobby would not want you knowing this.
Mm-mm.
Because, once word like that got out, then everybody'd be eating the cats. And
mm-hmm.
That's
It ain't like there aren't plenty of cats to go around.
If they were good, they wouldn't be all over the damn place. People be eating them.
Mm-hmm. Crazy part is a lot of the strays disappeared from around here. There was some people were trying to start a homeless camp. And about the same time, all the strays started disappearing. But the homeless are gone now.
Gosh, on our community pages around here, there are constantly kittens that's been found in somebody's yard, and they're offering them. If you wanted a cat, they're not hard to come by around here.
No. But some people figure that homeless people may have been eating the strays.
Oh, I just forgot something very, very important.
What?
Tomorrow is George's birthday.
Ooh. Happy birthday, George.
George turns 11 years old tomorrow.
Wow. He doesn't look a day over 5.
So I got to think about what kind of party I'm going to have for George tomorrow.
Oh, good Lord. Are we going to have to bring cake like we did Boomer's birthday? And then Snob just about set his shed on fire?
It's an awful lot of candles, I'd say. So yes, Foul Territory tomorrow night will be George's birthday episode. So bring your presents and everything.
Ooh, I really could have really confused Hillbilly last week. I could have brought up about the Senate parliamentarian. You know what the Senate parliamentarian does?
Mm-mm.
Kills bills based on constitutionality. And also whether they live up to Senate rules or not. You know what the Senate parliamentarian can do to the what is it? The Short Act that was put into the big great bill or whatever the hell it is.
The big beautiful bill.
Yeah, the big beautiful bill. Could say that it's not applicable. She could, because right now it's a woman. She could rule that it doesn't apply to Senate rules, or that it isn't actually a financial bill, and she can pull that right out of there. and say, nope, you can't put that in that bill. No. Patriots out there again. He's asking if we decided if the mullahs are midget tossing haters. Well, I tried replying to you earlier in the YouTube chat. The mullahs are against anything that's fun. So if it's fun, the mullahs hate it outright. Like there's a woman over in Iran right now that is facing the death penalty for doing gymnastics in public. That's it. She did gymnastics in public. Hang her. You know. Oh, you were singing? You're on trial with a death penalty. Of course, this is if you're a woman, but yeah. And if you don't believe me, look it up, folks. This is what happens in Iran. But somehow Whoopi Goldberg, I bet, could go and do a cartwheel and not have anybody in, where are they at, New York? They might bitch and moan and groan like, oh, Whoopi, quit that. Put some clothes on. Yeah, you stupid fat cow. But they're not going to want to hang her.
Take a strong rope.
Mm-hmm. It would have to be a bull rope. Ron 2A says he will be 58 years old on Wednesday. Finstead said a friend of his runs a nonprofit. They trapped 240 stray and feral cats this week. Spayed and neutered them, microchipped and vaccinated them, and then let them go. Now, if Whoopi Goldberg sings, should we hang her for that? I don't think I've ever heard her sing. Have you ever heard her sing?
Well, she was in Sister Act. Didn't she sing in Sister Act?
Did she? That's what I was trying to remember.
Well, I'm sure it was actually studio singers doing the actual singing there.
Yeah.
Her character sings.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know her character does. I couldn't remember if it was actually her or not, though.
Whoopi Goldberg performed her own vocals in many of the songs, including I Will Follow Him and Joyful, Joyful.
Okay, so then we have heard her sing before. Oh, another good one today. I saw it because J.K. Rowling responded to this person who said, and I quote, Iran is better for transsexuals than the United States and Canada are.
Okay. Good luck with that.
Yeah, really. I mean, I guess if you're suicidal transsexual and you want to, don't want to kill yourself, Iran might be a good option. I'm sure they would gladly hang you for you. Yeah. Those Muslim countries don't generally have the best track record when it comes from people of that persuasion. you know, gay, lesbian, transsexual, they pretty much just either throw you off the roof of a building, shoot you, drown you, put you in a cage and set you on fire, or hang you. It's pretty much what they do to you. Depends on what part of the Middle East you're in. Like if you do that, you come out and say you're that in what used to be Syria, you know, they'll put you in a cage and set you on fire. The Iranians at least will be civilized and just hang you. But remember, Islam is a peaceful, tolerant religion.
I shared a screen with you.
Okay, isn't this working? I clicked presentation and it's not doing anything. Yeah, I see your screen. I click presentation and it's not changing. What the? I might have to refresh this. Hold on.
Uh-oh, he's gone. Or is he? He's back.
Yeah, there we go. Who is smarter, Maxine Waters, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, or a box of rocks? I'm going to go with the box of rocks. Yeah, definitely the box of rocks.
Yeah, I'd kind of have to go with the box of rocks there, too.
I think that would have to be the consensus, right? Yeah, still find it funny. All the people on the left throwing a fit because JD Vance accidentally said Jose Padilla. Yeah, let's talk about a senator that nobody's ever heard of before and a former superstar baseball player. Which, you know, it's an honest mistake. Like I said, legitimately, when I saw Senator Padilla, I'm like, when the hell did Jose Padilla become a senator? And from where? Yeah, defense dad said, remember when the phrase blew my tranny meant you had a bad day at the track? Mm-hmm. Or you just had a bad day on your drive home from work? They meant my tranny blew. You know. Now
Yeah,
it means something totally different.
had a whole different connotation back in the day, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I
What
can
other?
remember in high school if somebody asked if they could bum a fag, it didn't mean what it does now either.
Mm-hmm. Well, hell, look at the Flintstones theme song. They had a gay old time. You say that today, and that's something totally different. Amazing
For
how
you younger people, a fag actually meant a cigarette back in the day.
well, it still does in in UK slang. And a faggot was a stack of twigs or sticks, not anything derogatory. You know, a small pile of firewood could constitute.
Yes, and the gay 90s had absolutely nothing to do with sexuality, believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Although the roaring 20s may have. But
Yeah, things were different back in the day. You could actually send your kid out in the morning, tell them to go ride their bike, and then be home by the time the streetlights come on, and they would be safe to do so.
well, the main thing my parents worried about was a lot of my friends lived because we have a highway dividing our town north to south. Of course, it slows down to 30 miles an hour, but still, they wanted you to be careful crossing a highway.
Mm-hmm.
So there were only certain places they would allow us to cross the highway.
Yeah, we'd get on our bikes and we'd ride 3, 4 neighborhoods away.
Well, my town wasn't that big, but there were places you could get on your bicycle that were a couple miles from home.
Yeah.
So,
Shit, because of school busing, you had friends that lived a few miles away from you, and get on your bike and you'd ride your bike to their house.
well, the way it was when I was growing up, the only people who got to ride buses were the people who lived outside the city limits, the quote unquote rural kids.
Mm-hmm.
But there were people who lived right on the outskirts of town. I could drive to their house on a bicycle because they were just basically right across the city limits from the
Yeah.
city. But they got to ride the bus in, we didn't. So.
Yeah, when I was a kid, it was basically when they started the school busing that Joe Biden was against. If you were 2 miles or more from the school, you got busted.
Ours was a mile, if you were more than a mile.
High school, you didn't ride the school bus. You got a bus pass to ride the public transportation system. Just a regular bus pass. It wasn't like a student bus pass or anything. You just got issued a regular old bus pass that anybody, $40 bus pass.
That's why some of the school districts around here do that now.
See, I lived in rural Americana. We didn't have a public transportation system.
You rode the hay wagon just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I walked to school.
Yeah, defense desk said when Gary says bus, he means covered wagon.
My generation came up with all the cool music so you guys could still listen to it 50 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Your generation.
That's right. I mean, do you actually believe 50 years from now there's going to be radio stations that play some of the current music from today and call that nostalgia? You know, let's go
Yeah.
back to the days where we had this crap on radio.
No. I still think it's funny Ringo Starr throwing a temper tantrum because his son was fired from the Who. You saw that, right?
Mm-mm.
No, it
No.
was Ringo Starr was on X throwing a temper tantrum because the Who fired his son. Calling Roger Daltrey all kind of names and stuff. It was, dude, seriously.
The only reason Ringo got that gig in the first place is he was fairly well connected.
Mm.
Well, he was a lot better drummer than Pete Best. The I think it was John Lennon had said that the only reason they had Pete Best in the band was because they needed a drummer so they could play in Germany. I heard somebody took the same song. I can't remember which song it was, but they took Pete Best playing, and then they cut two parts that were the same at the in the earlier in the song and later in the song, and overlapped them, and you can hear his timing was way off the second time through. And then they took Ringo Starr, and he was dead on.
Teacher says Ringo was in a band. Thought he would just play around with little trains and tank engines. Well, that was after he became Mr. Conductor. Best Mr. Conductor was George Carlin.
I kind of got into Theodore the Tugboat, and they had God, what's his name from the Mamas and the Papas. Now I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, God.
The chubbier guy, the shorter one.
The one whose name I don't know.
Oh, Denny
Oh,
Doherty.
yeah. The guy they hired
Yeah,
as
he
a
was.
singer.
It was
Okay.
basically a knockoff of Thomas, but with tugboats. And then he played like the. I don't know if he was a harbor master. I don't remember, but
Basically, they brought him in because they didn't have a guy who could actually sing lead well. So and the rumor was Cass Elliot fell in love with him, but of course, who didn't you fall in love with over the years? So.
well, yeah, she did. And then Michelle Phillips slept with him, and then Cass got mad at her.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I have the soon-to-be birthday boy on my lap.
Patriot says, what about Sha Na Na in the Electric Company? Were they on the Electric Company?
Probably. They were on everything else.
And then Bowser ended up being the host of Hollywood Squares.
Hashtag manufactured band.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't be the first. Damn sure wasn't the last.
Oh, that was back in the days when the TV variety series was king.
Mm-hmm.
Get a few guys who could sing, build a few comedy skits around that, and run it for an hour.
Or just do a sitcom around a made-up band.
I don't. They were not. If they were on the Electric Company, they were not regulars.
No. They weren't Spider-Man, come on. Or Blue Beetle. Which is funny because the Electric Company had one character from Marvel and one from DC.
I
But
would
were
if
they
I
ever
could.
on the Muppet Show? That's how you know you've really made it.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan Freeman was on the Electric Company. Rita
Yeah, that's where he
Morano.
started.
Star-studded.
Mm-hmm. Spider-Man, Blue Beetle, and Morgan Freeman.
Got to get your start somewhere.
Mm-hmm. It's like LeVar Burton and Reading Rainbow.
Well, he was Kunta Kinte. He did stuff before Reading Rainbow.
I know. I was being facetious.
Meow. Meow.
Must have heard George purring.
Meow.
Defense Dad says Ringo was a better drummer than he gets credit for. The Beatles' music wasn't the best showcase for his talent, though. What are you talking about? According to the Professor of Rock, the Beatles invented heavy metal.
Oh, let's be real. For most of the Beatles stage performances, you couldn't actually hear the music being played anyway for all the screaming that was going on in the
That's why they
audience.
stopped touring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Defense Dad says Lawrence Fishburne was on Pee Wee's Playhouse.
He
Yeah,
was
but
the
he'd been in
cowboy.
other things too before that. But he was the big head guy that was in a box or some shit, wasn't he?
No, he was the cowboy.
Oh, the cowboy? Hell, I
Yeah.
never really watched Pee Wee's
The-
Playhouse.
The genie was the comedian that his wife shot him. Was on SNL.
Oh, Phil Hartman?
Phil Hartman in the stage show, and then for the TV show they had a different guy.
The only episode of Pee Wee's Playhouse I ever really remember watching was the adult version that was on HBO, but they only had like one episode.
Well, that's what it was to begin with. It was
Mm-hmm.
came out of not ad lib, but
Improv?
improv. It was out of an improv group.
Mm-hmm. The reason why I remember it is because they were walking around on the show with mirrors on their shoes, looking up girls' skirts.
Yeah, I saw an interview with Paul Rubens one time where he was talking about how the character was created. It was kind of interesting. One of the few interviews where Paul Rubens was out of character, was actually speaking as Paul Rubens. So
Mm-hmm. The last thing I remember Paul Rubens being in was Gotham, where he played the Penguin's dad. Yep. Ron must be getting ready to leave. He threw his link out there to his channel. So, yeah, go over there and check him out if you haven't already. That's on the YouTube side. You can see it on screen too for those of you on Rumble or X. You can see his YouTube channel right there on the screen. So you'll have to do it the old-fashioned way and type it in. Yep. Have a good night, Ron. Shit. Samuel L. Jackson used to play a recurring role as a defense attorney on Law and Order. Yep. He played a public defender, recurring roles of public defender on there. That was back when that was first starting. Like the first season or two, if I remember right. I remember Amy watching the old episodes and was like, "Yeah, that's Samuel L. Jackson playing that attorney." He would be the attorney before they got the big bucks attorney to come in and take over the case.
I remember being real bored and watching this weird thing on a Saturday afternoon. It was called the World's Strongest Bouncer Competition. And they had these bouncers. They would actually pick somebody up and carry them through a bar, throw them out the front door, and they'd time them and stuff about how long it took. And the winning contestant was this guy from Chicago by the name of Mr. T, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody had ever heard of him. Before you knew it, the guy was on TV and stuff. It's like, I remember seeing this guy when he was nobody.
At the very last stage of that competition, you had to go through a door and then ring a bell that's at the bar. And he's the only one that kicked down the door to get to that bell when he won. I saw it.
Yeah, the fence that brings up by George Clooney being on Facts of Life. Yeah, but he had a head start because his aunt was Rosemary Clooney. So he had a little bit of a leg up on that.
You ever see those gals when they get together for their reunion shows? Well, they've aged quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, hell, that show was
Except
on
for,
40 years ago.
Except for Lisa Welchel. She really looks about the same now as she did then. It's not fair.
Yeah, she had, I don't know if it's still on or not, a show on A&E or History Channel, one of them, where she would go around talking to different collectors of different things, like comic book collectors and stuff. It was interesting, some of the episodes of that show. But yeah, she didn't look, she was a little bigger, but, face and everything, you could tell who it was.
Well, I didn't watch it in the last couple seasons when they transitioned from the old cast to the new cast, and Mrs. Garrett was gone and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
By then, it's like, yeah.
Was it Cloris Leachman that replaced her?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Frau Brucke?
Yep. Robin Williams on Happy Days. It's where he first played the character of Mork from Mork.
Yeah, minor character that bloomed into
Mm-hmm.
a.
It's when he was still doing stand up mostly.
Let's not forget Laverne and Shirley. They had to be spun off into their own series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, originally they were just two girls that Fonzie knew. Fonzie the Bear knew them too, I guess.
Hey there, girl. Waka
Future
waka
Task
waka.
Joni Loves Chachi or Laverne and Shirley. Waka waka waka. Oh, man. Joni Loves Chachi or Laverne and Shirley, asked Patriot. Oh, Laverne and Shirley. Nobody ever watched Joni Loves Chachi except in Korea because they thought it meant something else. At least that's the rumor. Oh, you mean Alice? Alice was the show. But Mel's Diner, yeah, Mel's Sharples.
You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But watch out for Mel's Chili.
Mm-hmm.
And for somebody who was just going to stay a while, she stayed a number of years. Where she
Yeah. Long enough for her kid to graduate college. Remember, he was just starting high school.
I'm sure he needed 3 waitresses in that tiny little diner.
Mm-hmm. And poor Flo got on one of those damn electric climbing chairs and got thrown through a window. All those damn little green monsters running around that town. Of course, that was after she quit working in the restaurant. At that point, she owned a bank. Please tell me you guys are getting the reference. Hello?
Reference to what?
Flo getting thrown through a window on one of those stair climbing chairs.
Uh-uh.
You've seen Gremlins, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the woman that owned the bank
Mm-hmm.
that he worked at, his boss, the bitch, that was the same woman that played Flo
Oh,
on
wow.
Alice.
Okay.
Patriot got it. Like Gremlins, come on. Yeah. Defense Stat says Commander Tuvok on DS9. Commander Tuvok wasn't on DS9. Tuvok was on Voyager.
And he ain't found shit.
Nope. He still does Star Trek stuff because he still voices the character of Tuvok in the, Star Trek. Shit. What the hell's the name of the game? Oh, Online. Star Trek Online. Damn, I drew a blank on that.
Well, he said most people remember him from Spaceballs. He's the trooper with the pick that said we ain't found shit in the desert.
Yeah, I think he's thinking about Avery Brooks, who played. Oh my God, what the hell was his name?
Cisco.
Yeah, Cisco.
See, I watched Deep Space Nine for the first 2 or 3 years, and then I stopped watching it, and then I went back to watching it again, and he's bald, and it's like, and everything's changed. It's like, what the hell? This ain't even the same show anymore.
No, but that's when it got good. That's when all the action starts happening.
Yeah, it got darker.
Yeah. The Cardassian War, then the Dominion War. Yeah.
We're still at war with the Cardassians to this day.
Mm-hmm.
It's back before they accumulated all their wealth, I presume.
Yep. Oh, that's the Ferengi.
The Ferengi were supposed to be the new bad guys for Next Generation, but they sucked.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they ended up in DS9 like they were, where they're just kind of like merchants.
Boomstick's out there. He says he always wanted a Winnebago spaceship. Yeah, Patriot asks, Alice had the redhead and the black-haired lady, right? Yeah, Flo and the Dingbat. Ozzy's out there. He's been out there for a few minutes. I just noticed.
You chose not to acknowledge him?
No, I just wasn't paying attention.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wrong Cardassians. But you're not wrong.
You're famous just because your dad helped defend a murderer.
Well, don't forget, y'all. Then he made a sex tape.
He was acquitted.
Then he wrote a book. If I Did It, wink, wink.
If. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh.
Oh, what?
Hold on. Ah, so the Oklahoma City Thunder won the NBA Finals.
Wow. Oh, G-Web's out there.
And they can go fuck themselves.
Gee, I wonder why that would be.
Doesn't like Oklahoma City, I take it. Okay.
Oh. Something about these Washington State people, they hold a grudge when it comes to sports stuff, I tell you.
You're goddamn right.
Never hear him griping about the Brewers.
That was before his time.
No, that was just a total mess from the beginning.
You mean
Well,
like
that
Atlanta
was
getting...
basically they weren't quite ready,
Mhm.
but after Finley moved the Athletics out of Kansas City, Major League Baseball felt like they needed to move back into the KC area. But they
For
didn't want
those
to
who don't
bring
know,
just
we're
one
talking about
team.
the Seattle Pilots.
They didn't want to bring just one team in, so they had this Seattle franchise that was still waiting for this stadium to be constructed. It's like, could you guys put together a temporary stadium real quick? Because we want to bring you in the league 2 years early. So they were kind of set up to fail. They weren't ready.
It's like putting a hockey team in Atlanta. That's worked twice. Just ask the Calgary Flames and the new Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, if you keep building new arenas in Atlanta, eventually you'll get one right.
Maybe. I just don't think Atlanta is much of a hockey town as what it is. You got two teams there and they both moved within a decade.
The Flames weren't in Atlanta long, were they? I
No.
didn't think
So I
so.
said within a decade. Neither the Atlanta Thrashers weren't there long either.
And they were in a new arena, as I recall.
Mm-hmm.
Flames weren't. They had to play in the crappy Omni. But
The Omni was a great wrestling arena, not so much for anything else.
it was a good place to implode so CNN could put their news headquarters there. That's
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Mm-hmm. 2 hours and 15 minutes in. We've been talking about sports off and on all night, Patriot. Dang. Maybe we just now started talking about sports. Throwing in how about some midget tossing? Well, Barbecue's not here. He had just taken pictures of a midget wrestling event. So, if Barbecue were here, he could tell you about that, but he's not here. He was out in the chat earlier.
He doesn't dare come in here. Hockey's not a real sport.
Them's his fighting words, Ozzy.
I don't even really have a team to root for. The nearest NHL franchise from here is St. Louis, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Or Dallas, take your pick. A little
St. Louis
further.
is closer than Dallas, isn't it?
A little bit. But I know how Foss feels. I feel the same way about watching the Sacramento Kings. Like they basically stole them from Kansas City. So guy basically bought the Kings. He says, "Well, I'm dedicated to keeping the franchise in Kansas City." And within a year's time, he'd already made plans to move him to Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
Surprise!
Who was that? God, what team was that? Where they made a statement that they're not going to move the teams as the trucks were loaded and leaving.
Oh, Baltimore. The
Yeah.
Baltimore Colts.
Yep, they had the Mayflower trucks loaded up and leaving
Mm-hmm.
the compound. That's what they had pictures of the next morning. Guess what happened in the wee hours of the morning?
Now, Patriots asking, so was it the consensus? The reason Iran was bombed was because they hate midget tossing. That may be one of the causes. Boomstick says he finally figured out what the hell pickleball is. Yeah. Ping pong on a tennis court. That's what pickleball is.
That was invented in Washington State.
A good way to ruin what's left of your knees, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we drove by the senior center here last summer, and a bunch of old people were playing pickleball. Amy's like, "What the hell are they playing?" I was like, "Oh, that's pickleball." She's like, "What the hell's pickleball?" Like, ping pong on a tennis court. She's like, "Okay."
Kind of like wiffle ball tennis.
Mm-hmm. What's fun is the indoor pickleball courts at malls. Some of the malls around here, you can turn the whole thing into pickleball courts because there ain't no stores in them. It's like, Jesus.
God, I haven't been to a mall in ages. There's no reason to go.
Mm-mm.
I will go because there's a Cinnabon there. I like Cinnabon.
Man. Amy will not go to Cinnabon anymore. Because one time they got the order wrong at one mall. She will not go there. It's like, Jesus Christ.
There was a Cinnabon at the same mall, but it was different owners. And it was terrible. The worst Cinnabon I've ever had. And they weren't there for too long. And then somebody else got a kiosk and it's the normal Cinnabon.
Yeah. Well, they got the order wrong. I forget what she ordered, and they gave her the wrong thing. And then the lemonade didn't even taste like it had sugar in it because she got a cup of lemonade, big cup of lemonade. We ended up throwing it out. It's like, ugh.
How do you get the wrong thing? You stand there and watch them load your box.
This place was fucked up.
Sounds like it.
They were understaffed apparently, and it just she said the experience. I wasn't there at the counter, so I don't know what happened. But all she did was complain about the place. Now there's one in Winchester at the mall down there. It's really good, but she doesn't. She doesn't want to go to Cinnabon after that. Like, okay, you're basing it based on one. And by the way, the one that you're basing it on is not even open anymore. They went out of business at that mall. So what are you bitching about?
I won't go into IHOP because of the way I was treated one time. But
Yeah, but is that every IHOP or just one?
I haven't been back into one since. And it could have been just a bad night, but hey, there's limits
right.
to what I'll take, and there's too many other choices in this world. So
If I'm not happy or get bad service, I usually don't complain. I just don't go back.
yeah, too many other choices.
Yeah. Here's the funny part, though. She refused to go back to Cinnabon, but the Arby's up in the Vale always gets something with our order wrong, and she still goes back there all the time. Hell, they've forgotten to give us sandwiches and shit.
Oh, that's Sonic around here. There's no such thing as a Sonic get your order right around here.
Hell,
well, I will normally. We'll count what's in the bag. Not look specifically what's in the bag, but as long as I get the right number of things, then I'll be okay with that.
No, Boomstick doesn't even know what Cinnabon is. It's basically a cinnamon roll little
franchise
kiosk thing. Yeah.
Yeah, malls and airports.
Mm-hmm.
They're in just about every airport in the country. Them and Starbucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some of them will do like shakes, and some do lemonade and stuff. Hot chocolate, coffee, that kind of stuff.
I don't know if the one in the mall here has drinks or not. I've never looked for a drink from Cinnabon.
I will tell you what surprised me is when we were in Vegas the last couple times and we started getting breakfast at Dunkin'. Believe it or not, Dunkin' actually has some pretty good breakfast sandwiches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had them before.
I've heard that, and their coffee is very popular.
Mm-hmm. Their donuts aren't bad either.
I remember them being okay. There's no Dunkins around here anymore, I don't think. But way back when they were all right. They weren't terrible and they weren't super great. They were decent.
Did you guys ever have Mr. Donut in your area?
I had Mr. Donut in Japan because it's a Japanese company now.
If you go to Vegas, you got to have Pink Box. That's the big donut franchise in Vegas. They're all over.
Mr. Donut used to be real big in Pittsburgh area.
But it started out there, and then now it's owned by a company that makes cleaning chemicals in Japan. Pretty good donuts, though.
Mm-hmm. Used to be Hertz donuts were pretty good too.
We used to, when we were going to the Christian school, the cab driver we had the 1 year, at least once a week, he would stop at Mr. Donut. He would buy the kids sitting in the back, which have been my brother, my stepsister, and this other girl that went to the school. He would get them a box of the donut holes, and then He would, because I was the oldest, I got to sit up front, and each of us, he'd get him and me a turnover. Everybody in the back seat would get pissed off at me because he bought me a turnover and them donut holes. I was like, what are you yelling at me for?
He liked you.
It was. They would say, "How come he gets that and we get donut holes?" And he's like, "Because he's the oldest." It's like their age has its privileges.
I had a
But-
really good turnover the other day. It was raspberry cream.
Mhm.
It was really nice. But it's Phoebe's. They've got 2 locations and they're really expensive, but really good turnover.
It's kind of like those cupcake places where the cupcakes are like almost $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's Amy's coworker last week brought her in a donut from this place. It was like having 2 the filled type donuts stuck together with a layer of cream in the middle. It was like 2 custard donuts with a layer of cream between them stuck together and then icing poured over top of that. She brought that home. She's like, I gotta split this with you. There's no way I'm gonna eat the whole thing. Man, that thing was good. She got it at
It's too
some
much.
bakery up in Cumberland area.
There used to be a really good cupcake shop that they're not there anymore, but really good. And they'd have cupcakes with like a compote in the middle, like raspberry or blackberry. But I really like I think it was the blackberry ones.
What sucks is the only place around here that you can find raspberry filled donuts is Walmart if they have them, or Dunkin' Donuts. Nobody else around here sells raspberry filled donuts, and
See,
Walmart hardly ever has them.
we have Casey's, and they will cook fresh pastries in the mornings when they get their breakfast. So they have lots of different donuts and pastries.
Yeah. Now, Defense Staff says, believe it or not, Arby's has good turnovers. Yes, they do. I've had a turnover from Arby's before, and it was really good. Depending on what Sheets you go to, which is a gas station chain, kind of like Casey's, their donuts are either really good or not so good. The one here is really good. They have a strawberry shortcake donut that is absolutely freaking awesome. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a strawberry shortcake made with a donut.
I want ice cream.
You always want ice cream.
Well, you're the one who brought up shakes.
That was how long ago? Damn it, now I want a turnover or a donut, and I don't have either. I got ice cream. I don't have donuts or turnovers.
I don't have nothing. It's too late to go get anything. Everything will be closed in half an hour.
I guess you just don't want it that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I wanted to drive to the truck stop 15 miles away, it's open 24 hours.
Oh, there you go. You go get yourself an ice cream cone.
I'm sure they have a soft serve machine in there. One of them, I mean, there's two. There's 2 gas stations across the street from each other. One of them would have it.
Yep. Boomstick says he likes Sheets brats. What's really good that they have, they take little tiny brats and they wrap them in pretzel. Those are really good. The 80s Dunkin' Donut commercials, the one with the guy, gotta make the donuts. We only had like maybe one Dunkin' Donuts in the Pittsburgh area when I was a kid, but then we had Mr. Donuts everywhere. So,
We don't
uh,
have anything.
I haven't seen a Mr. Donuts in forever. Even when we've gone up to Pittsburgh, don't see them up there anymore either. Yep.
There's only one Mr. Donut left in the U.S. It's in
Really?
Godfrey.
It's where?
Godfrey? I don't know which state. It just says Godfrey.
No idea. Gilbert?
Speaking of food, where is Midnight Range TM?
I don't know. Somewhere near Harrisburg?
He needs to get in here, make himself known.
He's got a link. I don't know why. I still send him a link every week. Never shows up.
I'm going to keep assuming he's out there just monitoring us, waiting for somebody to talk about him. So I'm going to talk about him.
Yeah, we're up to 11 people watching and 2 on Rumble. Whoa. Boomstick says they have a 24-hour donut shop called Jolly Pirate. Donuts come in a treasure chest box. I wish I had a 24-hour donut shop.
There used to be, I think they were called Midnight Donuts, and they opened at like 10 p.m. and were only open at night. And one day a week, you could get a $5. It was like a small paper bag and as many donuts as you could stuff in that bag.
There used to be a diner in Pittsburgh in the Strip District that was only open from like 11, 12 at night to like 7 or 8 in the morning. It was open for people working at the warehouse district, and truck drivers and stuff that would come in making the deliveries.
Godfrey, Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah, up in Ozzy's area of the woods.
Apparently that diner's not there anymore because they went and did all kinds of gentrification of the Strip District area. That was one of the victims. But that diner was good. We would go, if I worked third shift at Greyhound, we would go there and get something to eat for lunch on our lunch break. It was right down the street from the Greyhound terminal. They were on one of those food shows where they go to different hole-in-the-wall type restaurants. Most people didn't even know it was there as of where it was open. Ozzy said he's never heard of Godfrey.
Meow. Meow.
It's near the Illinois-Missouri border. Lock Haven, Melville, Godfrey, College Hills, Bethalto, Morrow, East Alton, Wood River, Hartford, Roxana. Those are all cities around same area. Kind of north of Granite City in St. Louis.
Wonder if that's near where my wife's niece lives. She lives out that way. I could have her go to Mr. Donut and get me some donuts. Hey, bring me some donuts. She lives near the Illinois-Missouri border on the Illinois side.
What town?
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
Well,
I don't know if I still have her address on my exchange account or not, because every year for Christmas we send her a gift card through the exchange. And, one of those Visa gift cards. Her and her husband get one of those every year. You get them like a $100 gift card every year. If Amy were up, she would know. But she's in bed. She got to get up for work in the morning. As he says, north of East St. Louis. Boomstick ass Man versus Food Show. I don't remember. This was years ago.
They would do the eating contests.
Hmm?
He would do the contest, the food contest.
Yeah,
Eat
I
this
mean,
burger,
but he,
eat that.
I think he was asking him because I said about that diner being on the one food show.
Oh, yeah. There's two different hosts. The first host was afraid that he was going to die from it. Basically, he had health concerns about doing the food challenges, and then they brought in another guy.
Ozzy says Godfrey's about 90 miles west of him. Take a road trip and go get some donuts, Ozzy.
You can mail them to Rich.
Mm-hmm. I doubt if Mr. Donut's still open 24 hours. That was a nice thing about them, too. They were open 24 hours. You go all night bowling and then go hit Mr. Donuts.
I don't believe they were. I saw their hours. I don't remember what they were, but
Oh, the one
weren't
across the
24.
street from the bowling alley in Pittsburgh on McKnight Lanes. You had on McKnight Road. You had McKnight Lanes, and then right across McKnight Road was Mr. Donut, and that one was open 24 hours. But that was one of the busiest streets in the city too. There was all kind of, deliveries all night and stuff, because that's where like the malls and shopping centers were. There was always truckers parked out front of there getting donuts and stuff. Leave the bowling alley, go over and get a bag of donuts, and come back over to the bowling alley with the donuts. again, that was how freaking long ago. that was in middle school and high school back then. Boomstick says one of these days he wants to go to Texas and try that 96-ounce steak challenge.
I've driven right by the place where they do that. Snob and I drove by it on our way to Vegas a couple times. In Amarillo, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Or on Diners, Dives, and Drives, the one, the what's his face Guy Fieri show that he has on Food Network. The place up in Clearfield, PA, that has that really big cheeseburger. I've eaten there before. I didn't try that challenge though. There was no way I was going to finish all that. I saw one person try. There was no way in hell I would eat all that. That was a big freaking cheeseburger. It wasn't like some of these places where they put all those little burger patties on the thing and call it one big burger. This was a big, one giant burger patty on that thing. I was like, ain't no way I'm eating that. Back in the day when I was a kid, I might have been able to. When I was a teenager, I used to eat a lot and didn't put any freaking weight on. Doctor said I had a real high metabolism. I would just burn it off real quick. Which was fun trying to keep weight for playing football and shit. That's why the doctor put me on a milkshake diet. It's like, dude, you gotta put some weight on if you're gonna be doing that. Most doctors are trying to tell you to lose weight. My doctor was trying to tell me to gain weight. I don't have that problem anymore. I have lost some weight though. Went from 250 down to 230. Yeah, I just don't see myself eating a 96-ounce steak.
No.
Mm-mm.
Bit much for me.
And what type of steak? Was it a sirloin?
Let's find out.
Do a whole sirloin as a steak.
Where is the 72? I'm looking at their menu here. I'm trying to find it.
Can't imagine they would do that with a ribeye or something like that.
I mean, they have regular steaks.
Oh yeah, I know.
They have a 36-ounce ribeye on their menu.
I could try eating that. 36 ounce.
$50.
Yeah.
I don't
Ribeye
see a
ain't cheap.
72-ouncer on their menu. They do have other stuff. So
Shit, 2 ribeyes anymore cost. Yeah.
24-ounce porterhouse don't sound bad either.
No, that's 2 pound steak, and it's 2 steaks in one. What is it? Yeah, porterhouse, what? T-bone and the Delmonico or something like that.
Oh. The world famous 72-ounce steak challenge. Okay. 72-ounce steak dinner challenge includes shrimp cocktail, baked potato salad with rolled butter, and of course a 72-ounce steak.
Now, do you got to eat everything or just the steak?
You don't have to eat the fat. Okay.
Oh, that's the best part.
Entire meal must be completed in 1 hour. If any of the meal is not consumed, swallowed, you
Wow.
lose. Before the time starts, you will be allowed to cut into the steak and take one bite. If the steak tastes good and is cooked to your satisfaction, we will start the time upon your acceptable approval.
What do you get if you
What?
win? If you eat it
Once
all?
once you have started, you are not allowed to stand up, leave your table, or have anyone else touch the meal. You will be disqualified if anyone assists you in cutting, preparing, or eating of your meal. You are required to pay the full amount up front. If you win, we will refund 100%.
What if you're handicapped? I mean, you can't cut it.
$72 is what it costs for this thing, by the way. So
Yeah, it's $1 an ounce.
so far, 98,027 people have attempted this, and only 10,504 have successfully completed the challenge.
Yeah, but what do you get if you do it?
The steak.
Just that's it. You don't get a
Plus, you
T-shirt.
get their picture on their Hall of Fame and stuff.
They don't give you a T-shirt or something that says "I ate the 72-ounce steak" or anything. Like
You're getting a
yeah, but some of those
steak
challenges you
dinner
get a
for free.
T-shirt that says you completed it. That's all. I wasn't trying to be a smart aleck or anything. I was asking they don't give you a T-shirt or something saying that you completed it.
It
It's a
doesn't
legitimate
say
question,
so.
Gary.
It doesn't say so. Let's put
Okay.
it that way.
Okay, I know some of those food challenges they give you like a shirt or something that says you completed it. I was just curious if they did that or not. Or where else are you going to get a steak for $1 an ounce? I mean, you break it down like that, that's not that expensive. That's not including the rest of the food that's with it.
If you're not able to eat it, they will package it up for you to go. So it's not a complete wash. You get to keep everything. So
Well, there you go. You take 3 bites and then you take the rest home in a doggy bag. And when you get home, you cut it into parts and you serve
yeah,
it for
divide it
dinner.
up in your car, and all 5 of you
Right.
eat.
Exactly. Now you're
Not
getting
so
it.
bad once you divide it among 5 people,
Right,
and
exactly.
you're all getting steak. So what the hell,
Uh-huh. That $72 doesn't look so bad now, does it?
No, no, I want steak. Ain't got that either. Is anybody still watching this?
Yeah. It still says we were up to 11 on YouTube and 2 on Rumble. Now we're down to, well, we're back to 2 on Rumble again, 6 on YouTube. And I have no idea on X. I haven't looked over there in a while.
Mm-hmm.
X is still only saying 19. Somehow I got a couple seconds behind again. X is weird. It's going on midnight here. Guess we can start wrapping this up. I think just about 3 hours is long enough. So, anything you want to plug before we get out of here, Gary?
Oh, I got a show tomorrow night. George's birthday. Don't forget. My show's tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, Foul Territory. I've got a couple flashlight videos that came out this weekend, so watch those. I've got 3 knives to review, one from CJRB, and then I got 2 from Civivi over the weekend. So plenty of videos coming out. So sure I'll have some new stuff for Boomer Listens. So get out there and check everything out. Thanks for having me.
Yep. All right, you, Foss. Anything you want to plug?
Well, I put a link for Boomer Listens. Everybody should go over there. It's the fast-paced, quickly growing music reaction channel that everybody's been waiting for.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yeah. All right, is that it?
That's it. That's all you get.
It's all you paid for.
I didn't pay for anything.
Well, that's what you got.
It's like that 72-ounce steak. I didn't pay for that.
I work for hire, man.
Uh-huh.
He's a hired gun.
Well, Faust isn't telling you, he does this show on Saturday night, so over on his channel.
Or Sunday mornings, depending on where you're at.
Most people, it's going to be Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern.
It's Saturday night for those people who are hugging the West Coast, but
Uh-huh.
hanging on to the last little bit of Saturday there is.
Yeah, it's 11 p.m. Pacific. So go over to if you can't sleep on Saturday night and you ain't worried about going to church next morning, go.
I was going to say, are you saying his show will put you to sleep? That's mean.
That's not what I said.
Could have been
It's a show for the enlarged prostate crowd.
Mm-hmm. It's a show for the insomniacs. Anyway, yeah, check him out Saturday nights over there. Since he won't plug his own stuff, he plugs everybody else's. And that's about it for this week. I might have a knife video or something come out this week. I don't know. I meant to do that this week, and then shit kept happening, so I didn't get a chance to get that filmed. And I still got stuff I got to edit from the Great American Outdoor Show back in February and get released.
I'm telling you, you're really screwing up for not putting cat videos out. You are set up. It's practically turnkey. Just turn on the camera, man.
It's what the internet was made for.
That's right.
Uh-huh. Cat videos ain't as popular as what they used to be.
Old bull.
Man, I put out one cat video, and I hardly got any views on that. So, I don't know.
So you're going to base it on a quantity of one.
Yep.
That's not the way averages work.
Uh-huh. Anyway. Yeah. If you don't see me put out a video during the week, probably something came up and I wasn't able to get to it.
You can always give him
Lately,
all
it's
about it
been
next
one
week.
thing after another.
you can give him hell about it on his show, or you can give him hell about it on my show, or
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
but be sure and tune in to find out if anyone else is intentionally being obtuse.
well, you got to tune into your show for that. Like I said, I really could have confused him if I'd have brought up the Senate parliamentarian. That would have been hilarious. Anyway, we will catch y'all tomorrow night on Gizzard's channel.
Yeah, man.
Yep. And then back here next Sunday.
And
So
Rich will explain much more about that sensual libertarian stuff.
that's not what I said. I said Senate parliamentarian.
Same thing.
Not quite.
Well, you can explain the difference.
Whatever.
That's next week's show.
Uh-huh. Have a good night, everybody.
Bomber in.